Welcome back to English Otherwise. This is Breaking Down the News. As you know, my name is Mr. James, your language leader, your guide, your guru, your mentor, and oh so much more. I get up in the morning, I make myself some coffee, I highlight the headlines, and then we jump in here and pick them apart so that you can expand your vocabulary, better express yourself, and impress others, and just have a greater appreciation for the English language. I want you to love it in the way that I do. Good morning, mushrooms, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers, sisters, mothers, misters, and around the world, to all my cousins, it's time to plug in and let's get this train a-chugging. Yes, and so we've got a diplomatic freeze going on. Now, anytime we freeze something and it is frozen, without getting too much into the physics of freezing foods and freezing other things, as you reduce the temperature, the molecules stop, slow down, everything slows down, and if it's slowing down, then it's not moving forward. And so all progress is stopping negotiations and or politics. Australia angered China by calling for publicly, hey, we need a coronavirus investigation over here. Hello, is anybody listening? And it turns out Beijing was listening because Beijing is targeting Australia's exports, or most likely its imports into China, maybe placing tariffs on them or other limitations. Latin America is now the epicenter of the outbreak, says an official. Not that it is official, but an official said that. Now, the epicenter means the center of the center. Very good. Now, we've got the prefix epi here, coming from Greek, which typically means onto. Here we've got the epicenter, so on the center. Google tells me that this word wasn't even really used at all until the 20th century, but then it kept increasing in use. They're usually used for earthquakes and seismology. And it's the direct spot on the surface of the earth above where the earthquake took place. And so the center of center. And now they are applying it to many other things when it is truly the center. But with this prefix epi, meaning onto, epidemic, onto, and then the demic coming from the Greek demos, people, onto the people. With another meaning of epi, meaning in addition to. We have things like at the end of a book, you might see an epilogue, and it means in addition to words, logos, words. Europe's rebound from coronavirus is threatened. Is threatened by whom? By what? I just don't know. Oh, probably by the virus, once again. Because we're coming out of our sort of isolations and our lockdowns, our quarantines, now starting to see and or expect more of these second waves, third waves to bounce back. You might know this term from basketball. And if somebody shoots the ball and it doesn't go through the hoop and score, but it bounces off the rim or the backboard and it bounces back and then somebody catches it, that is a rebound. However, in the news, you often see it with stocks. They've been falling and then they start to rebound and bounce, like off the bottom, off the floor, bounce back upwards. And because the verb here, bound exists in many different forms. It can be the past tense and past participle of to bind, bound. However, bound itself is actually a verb, and it means to run or jump in an excited, exuberant sort of way. It's just like a puppy bounding through the long grass or bounding through the snow. And so really it is to bounce again, to bounce back from. But similarly, you might know this term also colloquially from relationships. Maybe somebody gets out of a bad breakup. Yeah, they were together with their partner, the relationship fell apart, somebody broke up with the other one. Emotionally, your heart is broken, you are crushed, you're going down, but then you find somebody else and you bounce back. Something short-term, temporary, meant to lift their spirits and boost their confidence, often few strings attached. US military accused Russia of deploying aircraft to Libya. Now, this is often used with military, and it means the movement of troops or equipment into strategic locations so that they are prepared to act. They are ready to be used if necessary. However, then we can take it and extend it beyond military uses. And so for like the distribution of aid, food supplies, water supplies, financial supplies are deployed into strategic locations so that they can be distributed or released to the public. That's all I got for that one. Are drawing up options. And when we're drawing up options, we're drawing up a plan. Just like if you're creating a drawing, creating a plan in a very careful way. We often use it with contracts. Draw up a blueprint. Ooh, detailed exact plans. For early Afghanistan troop withdrawal. And we've had to withdraw on the show before, just like, and it means basically to pull out. Yeah, we withdraw money from the ATM. You can withdraw your support from a, say, political candidate if some bad secrets leak out. So they're looking to pull out the troops, the military from Afghanistan. Early. Flight to Italy resumes only to find airport shut. It would be comical, it would be funny if it were not kind of sad. Restart doing something that you were already doing. Yeah, different than resume or CV. Start doing something again, which it stopped. So I don't know how this flight was going and then it stopped, because planes typically don't stop in midair and then resume flying. But either way, to land at an airport which is closed might be a little bit difficult for exiting the aircraft and filling up the petrol and other things that need to be done each time a plane lands. To new heights. Height being the noun from the adjective high. If something is high, that means there's a lot of it. And so it's increasing to new heights, to a new level never seen before, maybe an unprecedented level. Recycled vocabulary. Twitter labels Trump tweet labels it as misleading. Mis meaning badly, poorly, or incorrectly. If you mislead somebody, it's like you're leading them to the wrong destination. And really, it's a fancy word for tricking somebody, to deceive somebody into often doing something so that you can take advantage of it to your benefit. As he's trying to trick people, it's dishonest. We've got the next headline. I love it when the headlines come together. Some poor girl, and by poor, I don't mean financially poor, I mean unfortunate. As a teen, she was misled into prostitution. By whom? We don't know. By some horrible person. Next up, nice little compound adjective. Nail-biting video. Shows a brown bear following a child on a family hike. We've got our fingernails. And biting your nails is seen as a sign of nervousness. And so if something is nail biting or makes you bite your nails, it makes you very, very nervous. Actually, nail biting isn't a sign of nervousness, but that's just because I bite my nails. It's just a bad habit more than anything. But if something is nail biting, it means that it makes you very nervous, maybe scared or afraid. If it's a flagship carrier or a flagship model of phones, it's the one that is meant to identify the brand or the country itself, because here it's representing then Pakistan. Here it's being used, needs a overhaul, which is being used as a noun, but easier to describe through the verb to overhaul. Inspect a machine or a system in a very detailed fashion, very finely inspect each component of it to see if it's working or why it's not working well, and what changes need to be made so that it can function more effectively. Overhaul a company, overhaul a machine. We could overhaul, some people would say that I need to overhaul my wardrobe and my sense of fashion. And so it means to inspect something finely in order to make changes and improvements. To reveal, as usual, to show, ta-da! But as we've had also with the phrasal verb, to open up. Because when we have secrets inside, and when we open up about them, we are revealing and showing, making public some sort of secrets or information that was not previously known. To allege, to make formal, statements and accusations that somebody did something. Keep saying we've had it, but it's because these things keep turning up. And that's why if you keep tuning into the show, these words will just become a part of you. You hear it once and it goes in one ear and then out the other and you forget about it. You might recognize it the next time you see it. However, repetition is the key to retention. And just because you're keeping something in your head doesn't mean you can actually use it. And so try and incorporate this vocabulary into your daily life. To defy, to go against, to confront, to challenge. Yeah, and so it's like they are challenging death. Caught Hollywood's attention. Yeah, because we could focus our attention on virtually anything, but if something every once in a while goes whoosh, and causes you to focus on it, it catches your attention. Something else captured our imagination. And if you catch something, it doesn't imply keeping it, but if you capture something, it means to catch and keep. Yeah, much like a prisoner or a criminal. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful adjective here. Eerie, strange, mysterious, maybe frightening, spooky. Yeah, and so you're walking through the woods and it's dark and it's foggy and then it's so strange and mysterious and maybe then you hear some sound behind you. And so it's strange, it's frightening, it's mysterious. Because there are no fans in the football stadium. Closing in on the title. And to close in on something just means to actually move closer, step by step, maybe to attack it, maybe to win it. And technically, it's just to close in. You could say they are closing in, but if you want to say what it is they're getting closer to, that's when you need the second preposition here. To close in on somebody or something. He created them a long time ago to capture, it caught our imagination, and collectively, as a society, has kept our imagination, our attention for oh so many years now. It's just good, nice visual vocabulary, and as well not uncommon to capture your attention, to capture somebody's imagination, to capture our emotions. Oh, and that's the moment that she captured my heart. She's never given it back. Outrage is just anger. Rage, anger, but outrage, so that anger directed outward. Anger which is expressed. Yeah? Great. And the outrage behind a Central Park confrontation. Some sad, interesting news. Guy was out bird watching in Central Park. Some lady had her dog off the leash, running around, therefore scaring away the birds. He asked her to put the dog on the leash. They were in an area where the dog was supposed to be on the leash, but she refused, and she threatened to call the police on him because he's black, and it was all captured on video. And the lady has been fired from her job for this blatant, overt racism. Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to comment on that because that's a serious can of worms, a Pandora's box. There are no right or wrong answers here. Well, it was wrong of her to call the police on him because he's black and he asked her to follow the rules. That's certainly wrong. If something is crucial, it is very, very important. It is the most important thing. Coming from the word crux for cross, just like pointing any two roads is where they cross or intersect. Also, if you had something shaped like that and you were to spin it, the place where they are joined, that's what it will revolve around. And so you'll hear terms like the crux of an argument, and it means the most central point. Imagine going from A to B, and somewhere in between, you decide to cut the journey short. And of course, it's a figurative journey the majority of the time. Yeah, to cut something short means to stop it before it reaches a point where it was destined or supposed to go. And so I'm not going to cut today's broadcast short because we have reached the end of the news. And so we're going to just quickly wrap this up and jump back into the white room. To everybody out there, Zdenyek, Nihan, Sam, Berna, Ned, thanks for tuning in. Anybody else out there who has been watching, always feel free to jump in the comments, ask some questions, clarify, contribute, and maybe even poke a little fun at each other. But For today, the 27th of May. For English Otherwise, this has been Breaking Down the News. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Do please pass us along to a friend who might want to improve their vocabulary so that they can better express and impress. And if not sooner, I will see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Bye-bye.